Hello, welcome to this video. I'm making this video of the boat. It's my brother's boat and we're going to show you around it because this boat's now going up for sale. And what this boat is, it's a weekender. Excuse me while I'm filming that. So this boat is the Weekender 230, and the 230 means that the boat is 23 foot long. So from this edge here, so from there right to the front, it's 23 foot long. It's 7 feet 10 inches high from when it's sat on the trailer to the top, and it's 7 feet 10 inches wide. Now when it's on the trailer, the total length is 26 feet, and the trailer is the trailer dimension on its own is 23 feet 6 inches. It has the Magnum engine in it. It's a 5.7 litre 350 cube with the Thunderbolt electronic ignition and the 4-barrel quadruport carburettor. This engine has been reconditioned, rebuilt, and we'll show you that shortly. It's on its original trailer. It's an American spec trailer. This is what comes with the boat, and this is what the boat will be going with. And we'll just explain to you about this towing hitch and what jobs we've actually done on this trailer up to press. You can talk when you're ready.
This trailer has had a brand new hitch put on it by myself. I got it from America. I bought it at the same time as I bought the back plates, brake cylinders, shoes, springs, adjusting springs, everything for the brakes on the trailer. Now it's a 50mm. It's an American size. So if you're going to tow this trailer, you have to make sure that you've got a 50mm ball on your vehicle. Now I do have one. It's a standard 2-bolt fitting, which will go with the trailer. But just bear in mind, if you've got one of the newer Range Rovers or any of the cars that have a clip-in tow ball, you will need to get a 50mm ball off probably eBay. So that'll come crack. Ready? Yeah. It's just got a little crack, a little chip taken out of the gel coat. Now this was done when I got it. It's very, very thick all here. The hull there is going to be at least an inch thick. So it's never bothered me. It doesn't leak in, and it just wants filling in with a bit of gel coat. Right, this trailer does have an odd tyre on it. I took the boat to Windermere, and unfortunately I caught this wheel on a piece of metal sticking out of the ground as I went into the marina. The only tyre I could get was this Ford Transit 185/14 tyre. The original tyres are 125 75 14s. Now what I was going to do before I decided to sell it, I was going to swap all the tyres over to this size because they're easy to get. If you have a problem, you'll get them anywhere. These are a little bit harder to find, albeit all the tyres on this are in really good condition. They're not, the walls aren't cracked, there's good tread on them, it's very towable.
Brakes.
Yeah, the brakes on these wheels, they have them on the front wheels only. I have put brand new back plates, brand new cylinders, brand new shoes, all the springs, brand new adjusters on both sides, and also it's had the benefit of all the wheels have had all new wheel bearings in and all new grease seals, which was 6 months ago. But is a Mercruiser arrangement in it, which means the back leg and the engine were prepared by a company called Mercruiser to fit in these American boats. This back leg works absolutely fantastic. Now if you notice, the bottoms have been painted and the top hasn't. The only reason for that is I've had this leg apart and I've fitted a brand new water pump in the top of it. Now this is recommended to do annually. so it's been done. It's run a few minutes on its new impeller, new water pump, just to make sure that it is actually pumping water like it should, which we will show at some point. We'll show you pumping water. The propeller is in pretty good nick. I have just caught it. You can barely notice it, but I have just caught it on a bit of a stone there. Apart from that, it's in very good condition. That propeller's probably 4-year-old, I think. Now this boat, I don't know if they're fitted from new, but certainly when I got it, it's fitted with trim tabs, and they're a good size trim tab as well. There's one on each side. They worked hydraulically from your dashboard, and for the people that don't know, for instance, if there's only myself on board and picking up quite a bit of speed, the boat will list because of my weight. In circumstances like that, you trim your boat, and basically all you do, this trim tab would be sent down to cause a bit of resistance, which will lift this corner of the boat up, which will right us and put us on an even plane.
So as you come on board, you've got the cabin up front, and these doors just concertina open and pin them back with these straps. Same with this door. Pin it there. Fire extinguisher on board. You come into the cabin, it's in very reasonable condition. I'm just hoping this is going to be light enough to film. The headlining is in very good order. And in the front you have the seating area, which you can arrange into a bed. You've got the galley to the left as you come in, and it's cold water only. The cold water tap works. The hot tap was added at a later date in case anybody wanted to upgrade. Various bits of shelving underneath. Radio, that's an ordinary FM radio, that works. And then to the right as you come in, you've got the washroom with a big mirror on the door there, and inside you have the sea toilet, which is emptied via this switch. When you're at sea, you switch it on, and it's emptied via its own macerator, or it does have a facility on deck that you can plug in to remove waste via its own outlet. It has a light in here which works, a mirror, a toilet roll holder and a towel holder. And above here is the control for the solar panel on deck, which we'll explain to you shortly. So that's the cabin, galley and washroom. So as you come out of the cabin to the back of the boat, you've got this rather large seat. This backrest comes off and can be stored in the cabin, and this section lifts up and pins back to the boat if you need more room in this area. You've also 2 storage boxes. You've one behind the captain's seat here, one at this side. 2 seats that, both seats swivel, and then you've got all your controls here for the boat, which we'll explain to you shortly. But what we're going to do next, we're going to put the canopy up, and you can see it from there. And here you see the boat with its waterproof cover on. So when the boat's not being used for extended periods of time, this cover's fitted. It doesn't leak in, it doesn't blow off. So when your boat's in on the marina, or if it's storage on your trailer, you can rely 100% on this cover. So this is the first part of putting the canopy up. These 2 just clip in to either side, and then the front section makes this sun canopy, and all you do, it just wraps around this bar. So you wrap it off this bar, pull it forward and press it in across the windscreen, and then this bar here, this torsioning bar, fits into this zip up sleeve across here to hold the bar and the canopy ceiling, canopy roof into place. And this rear section of canopy, same again, it's going to roll off the bar, come across here to create a cover into this midsection that then zips together via these zips. And that's how it is with the two sections zipped together. So now you've got a full shade canopy going on here, and then down this side, across the back and up this side, there's zipping see-through windows, which we'll put in a second. So here's the van with its sides on. It's a 2-panel side on this side. You've got your clear window side here, and you've got your half panel section here, and all these do is zip into each other across here and down here, and then across this rail it press studs to the outside. This rear cover that you see up here, this has just been folded up and fastened, so this whole section folds down and staples across the back there, and that has a clear window in it. And also in this corner there's two separate zips, so this section can fold up independently of this window for access in and out. I've shown you this side here folded up as this side can, and then also you have here the last panel in there for the window. So this is a bespoke made canopy. Yeah, we're going to roll the back down so you can see this section down. So it zips up at either side like this, then it'll press stud across the bottom, and then this door panel here, hi Nick, this is whose boat it is, this is my brother, and then this rear section folds down like this, zips at both sides, shut the door at the bottom there, and zip that down. And you do the same principle with this side panel here, but you can see it in situ over this side. So that's the canopy. And this is what the canopy looks like from the outside when everything's up. Really versatile canopy. And down here there's also some extra bits and pieces and all the ropes etc. to fasten yourself to the side of the key or wherever you've got it stored. So that is C-Ray. What we're going to do next is fire the engine up.
Right, we're going to start the engine up, but with all boats you can't start them dry, so when it's not in the water and it's on the trailer you've got to give it some water. Once to cool the engine obviously, but more importantly, as I might have explained before, inside this leg there's a water pump and it's driven from the leg. Now they're made of rubber in a stainless steel encasement. Now if you run them dry the rubber will heat up within 30-60 seconds and it'll melt and it'll be no good. So you must make sure you've got water flowing to this leg, to the pump, before you attempt to start this engine at all. We'll give it a start.
So can you tell us what all these are for, Nick?
Well, these two are essentially navigation. I use this one also as a GPS speedometer. This one came with the boat. It's an old Garmin GPS 120 XL. I've had it turned on. I don't use it. I use this one. This is a Garmin Montana 600. It's a portable device. It has the maps. At the minute it's got an ordnance survey map in it. I do have a sea map. Performs quite a few functions. Where to, waypoints, compass, as you would expect. Give you a compass reading. Odometer, things like that, speedometer, all that good stuff. Then we have a compass that came with the boat when it was manufactured. We have the standard depth sounder, that also is standard equipment, so you know how much water's underneath you. It worked very well on Windermere. We did manage to find the deepest part of Windermere. Then on the dashboard, oil pressure, hour meter, temperature, fuel, rev counter, battery, voltmeter. Now this one doesn't work. This is the back leg up and down. It needs a new switch on it on the back. I never got round to replacing it, so it doesn't work. Clock, speedometer again doesn't work. I don't know why. It'll be something to do with the tube at the back. It's probably blocked. Hence, that's why I use this as my speedo. It's a lot more accurate, and it's going to save you getting the lake ward and chasing you up on Windermere. Here we have the control for the trim tabs on the back of the boat. So independently up and down, you can move them in all sorts of configurations to get yourself on a nice level plane. Yep, obviously ignition. Horn not working at the minute. It did work before I took it out of the water, when I had it on the water in summer, so I need to have a look at that. Bilge blower down in the engine bay, that works. Navigation lights, they work. This is an isolating switch for the lights down in the cabin, that works. Isolation switch for the cockpit lights up here, they work. Step down pump. Now, this boat has two bilge pumps. There's one under the steps down here, that's a forward bilge. When you lift the top step up, there's a pump underneath. The second one is down in the engine bay. They're both automatic, but also they're both manual. Turn them on and off, they both work. Wipers, I'm not going to put them on because it's a very dry day, I don't want to scratch the windscreen. This is the isolating switch for the water pump for the tap on the sink, and also at the back of the boat, if you pan round, down under in that cubby hole, there's a couple of outlets. Now I've never used them, but if I put in a hose pipe in to have a wash down spray for to wash down your deck. Panel dimmer switch for the lights on the panel. VHF radio. Now again, this stopped working for some reason. It actually turns on and we're getting all the channels, but we're not getting speaker. So I'm just wondering whether we've got a bad connection on the speaker. I am going to pop it out and have a look, because that radio did work, to the extent that I was sat in Moonsbridge Marina and I could actually get the Coast Guard in Northern Ireland at Stamford Lock. I could hear him very, very clearly, and also Anglesey, etc. when I was down on the River Ribble and the River Douglas. So it did work, but we just lost its volume. Over here, I'm just going to move out of the way, is the gear lever engine control basically. There's quite a few settings that this goes in. To start the engine, what you need to do, say you've left it up here for instance, what you need to do is press that button and pull it all the way down to the last click, and then just till it resists you. That's totally out of gear, and all that will do now is act as an accelerator to rev the engine. When your engine's running, if you warmed it up, you must warm your engine up before you set off anywhere in a boat. When it's warmed up, you would move this to one click. Now that is neutral. From here, you're in neutral. Going forward one click is forward gear. Now that's in forward on tick over, then you've got the revs for forward. Pull it back to neutral, same again. One click, you'll hear it click into gear, that's reverse, and then this is acceleration for reverse. Back to neutral.
And all them functions work perfectly fine.
Everything's working fine. This button here, the leg on the back is on hydraulic rams, and when you want to take this boat out of the water, you must get that leg up as high as you can so it doesn't get damaged. This button here, when you press it, brings the leg up to trailer position, which is right up to the top. That's for putting it on your trailer or taking it out of the water on the ramp so the bottom of the leg doesn't hit the floor. It's a very important button, that. This one's your standard trim button. When you set off in the boat, on this particular boat, have your legs slightly orientated upwards, very slightly. Into gear, off you go. And when you accelerate, the front of the bow of the boat will start to rise out of the water. And as you gather speed, you will probably get a bouncing effect on the bow. Now that's telling you that the leg then needs trimming downwards. So then you would press down on this button, which would bring the leg down. It will bring the bow of the boat down till it stops bouncing, just till it stops bouncing. Then you should be in a good plane position, which is the position then where you can gather speed, get your hull up out of the water to reduce drag. Playing position, basically. That gets you into playing position, so you're off.
Right, so what you want to do next then, Nick? Shall we get that engine cover up?
Right.
And we'll fire it up.
I've got to get this seat out of the way. All we need to do is lift the back bolster off and just put it out of our way. The seat lifts up, click the legs away, and then on each side we have a little press stud that just holds the seat up out of the way. And then we lift the engine cover. For safety on this engine cover, it's got a strap to hold it out of the way, which straps on the back of the boat. That stops the engine cover falling back down on you.
Now, I described this engine earlier, okay? You tell me if I got the technical specifications wrong. 5.7 litre, 350 cube.
350 cubic inch.
Yeah.
It's basically a Chevrolet engine that's been converted from marine use. It's been from new. This is the engine the boat's had in from new. It's a V8 petrol and more economical than you would think it is. It runs very, very nice. The engine underwent a full recondition. I forget how long ago it went out, it might be three or more years ago. New pistons, crank reground, new shells, cylinder heads reconditioned, new exhaust manifolds and risers. All in all, I think it's had there's probably about £2,000 been spent on that engine.
So we'll get it fired up. Did you say it was a Magnum engine?
Yeah, well, they call it the Magnum. I think it's Mercruiser's name for it.
Yeah, and what about the carburettor?
Well, it's a standard Quadrajet 4-barrel carburettor. Now, for marine use, these engines originally would have had points. It's on a Thunderbolt distributor, so it's essentially an electronic ignition, so very, very reliable. It's got a remote oil filter down on the side for ease, so you can get at it. On these engines, when you change the oil in these engines, they're a bit weird. You can't get at the sump bung on these engines to empty it, so we have a device that fastens onto where the dipstick goes. You pull the dipstick out, there's a pipe fastens on there with a pump, and you essentially suck the oil out of the engine. Now, what I found was it was only sucking 2/3 of the oil out, so I had an extra pipe made, this one, which is directly fastened to the sump bung. And when you unscrew this top, it has the same fitting as the dipstick tube, so you can put your pump to this and make sure you get all the oil out of your engine when you want to empty it. Just a little modification that I did for my own ease of use, and it works quite well.
And also this battery, you've connected that to the solar panel, haven't you?
Yeah, there's an 100-watt solar panel on the front of the boat. When you leave a boat in a marina, for instance, you haven't got shore power, which this boat doesn't have, you must retain power for your bilge pumps. It's the most important thing. If your cover gets a rip or it comes undone, you've got to know that them bilge pumps are going to activate if water gets into your boat, because if they don't, it's going to sink.
And you've a bilge pump there, haven't you? And you've got that one under the step as well.
There's an automatic bilge pump down there, so I think it's a 750 litres an hour. I can't remember gallons or litres now, I can't remember. Anyway, it's a good pump. The same pump is under the stairs at the front. In the 4 years I think I've had the solar panel on the boat, I will guarantee I've never ever had a flat battery. Albeit when the solar panel was put on, the battery was put on brand new, and it's Mercedes AMG spec battery. So it's a good battery, but it has never ever failed to start the engine. So I'm very happy with that. We've never ever been without power. And you know, a boat can be stood 3 months. You know, you come to something after 3 months and expect it to start, and it does. You know, some cars you'd be hard pushed with that, but I'll guarantee this will.
Right, so shall we crack it up?
We'll fire it up.
Show us how you start it up then, Nick.
Right, we're going to start the boat now. The procedure for starting this particular boat, as I've shown you before, always make sure you've got the water running to the leg. The next thing you want to do, that's in neutral. You don't want it in neutral. You need it in throttle only position. So we're not engaged on any gears. Now, what I find easier with this boat is pump this 3 or 4 times, which is pumping petrol into the inlet manifold, and then we'll try it.
So you've now seen the boat. We've showed you the outside, the canopy, the interior. We've showed you how to use the controls, explained about the trailer, you've heard the engine running. Right, we've shown the boat, Nick. Is there out else?
No, that's about it. You've seen the video. I've enjoyed owning this boat. It has been a fantastic boat. It's been very reliable, and my grandchildren have loved it. It's time to go now though, so I'm selling it. The only thing I do want to add is, in April this year, it did have its boat safety certificate done. So there's a full 4 years boat safety now. That's it. Happy bidding.
Right, so thanks for watching this video, and we're looking forward to meeting the new owners.
Yeah.